Alfred had been with Audrey for 10 years and married for 7. Both he and his wife were 33. One day, Audrey suddenly confessed to cheating on Alfred with her 27-year-old co-worker, Doug. Alfred had had his suspicions, especially in the months leading up to her confession. Audrey's behavior had changed. There was a noticeable shift in affection from her, and their intimate life had dwindled. In fact, their husband-wife no-pants dance had completely stopped altogether. Despite this, Alfred didn't think too much of it. They were both busy in life, and sometimes marriages go through stages like that. He held his wife to a high moral standard and never believed she would be capable of behaving in a hurtful or disrespectful way towards him. Before the truth was unveiled, Alfred thought Doug was an okay guy, and even considered him to be a friend. They'd hung out on a number of occasions, things like work functions that Audrey had dragged Alfred to and barbecues that Doug had hosted at his home with his wife. Although the barbecues hadn't happened in quite a while, Doug and his wife were no longer together. It had been 2 months since his wife divorced him and moved to another state. Doug was now a single man. Audrey said their affair began 8 months ago. During that time, they'd even gone out for dinner and drinks with Doug. Alfred felt furious that while they were having dinner, drinks, and hanging out, Doug and Audrey were putting on an act like everything was normal. How could they look him in the eyes without a shred of guilt or remorse? Alfred wondered if their affair had something to do with Doug's divorce. Audrey told him that Doug's wife had found out about them. Apparently, she had tried to send evidence to Alfred through Facebook, but Audrey intercepted it and deleted everything. So why was Audrey confessing now after she'd put in all that effort to hide the affair? Alfred was angry. He asked his wife if she cared about their marriage, and she said yes. She still loves me. Alfred gave Audrey an ultimatum. As of today, if you really still love me and want to save our marriage, then Doug is dead to you, or I am. Audrey hesitated, and Alfred felt his heart sink. She started crying and told Alfred that she loves him, but she also loves Doug. He asked her, how can you equate almost 7 years of love, marriage, and building a life together to an 8-month affair? She couldn't answer, but she told Alfred she was sorry for hurting him, to which he replied, if you were truly sorry, you would have broken the affair off and concentrated on us. Audrey said she needed to be alone and locked herself in the bedroom. Alfred could hear her on the phone, probably talking to Doug, but he couldn't make out what she was saying. He guessed that Doug had pushed her into confessing and she was telling him how it all went. Alfred was stunned, pissed, and embarrassed that he hadn't seen the signs. But most of all, he was sad and broken-hearted. He decided he wasn't going to beg for his wife to stay. He had more self-respect than that. He accepted that the marriage was now over and that he'd have to move on. When Audrey's family found out what she did, they were ropeable. They reached out to Alfred to give him support and to say they loved him and assure him they would always consider him as a family member. Audrey's sister was the angriest. She didn't want to see Audrey and claimed that if she and Alfred went through with the divorce, that she would not tolerate being anywhere near Doug, nor would she ever bring her son around him. Audrey and her sister were really close, so the fact that she was taking Alfred's side in the matter was a huge deal. Alfred set up a consultation with a lawyer and began looking at housing options. The house they were in was theirs, and Alfred was considering buying Audrey out and keeping the house. Because his wife also earned substantially more than him at her job, he wanted to file for spousal support. Alfred knew he would be facing a rough road ahead filled with hardship, but he was feeling positive about the future. They didn't have children, so that wouldn't be a complicating factor, and once everything was finalized, Audrey would have no reason to contact Alfred ever again, which he considered to be a bonus. They did have a dog, but Alfred had already made it clear that if they were to divorce, he would be taking her with him. He thought this was fair because he put in all the work to train her and raise her. Alfred found a suitable attorney for $5,000 and filed for divorce. The attorney was confident they could nail Audrey's ass for alimony payments. Strangely, after Alfred filed for divorce, even though she had no idea yet that he had filed, Audrey's tune changed and she claimed she had made a huge mistake. She no longer wanted to be with Doug. She wanted to stay with Alfred and work on the relationship and make things better between them. Alfred told her he would think about it, but he wasn't sure. He had no intention to think about it. His mind was made up and there was no going back. The only reason he told Audrey those things was to keep her mollified while the divorce was getting processed. They had put the house up for sale and he wanted her to remain amicable until that was finalized. After that, she would be served, and then all hell would break loose. But Alfred no longer cared. His plan was to move on with his life. He knew the real reason Audrey wanted to reconcile was because Doug had embraced the single life and moved on with a younger, prettier version of his former wife. Audrey couldn't compete with that. Eventually, the house sold and they split the money half and half. Alfred used the money to put down towards a smaller place of his own. Audrey was served, and like he predicted, she went ballistic. But he told her they would no longer speak directly, and from that point forward, she'd have to go through his attorney. They came to a financial division agreement, and the divorce papers were signed and finalized. Audrey had moved back in with her family, even though they were all still pissed at her for what she did. Alfred had been hitting the gym hard since Audrey's confession of infidelity. He was looking better than he had in nearly half a decade. He began dating again with some moderate success, but mainly he was using it for social interaction rather than looking for anything serious. All in all, he was feeling good and optimistic about the future. With the divorce done and dusted, he was now ready to move on with his life and leave Audrey and his failed marriage in the past. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.